All right. Hi, everybody. It's Tracy Wisdom, your teen life coach, and I hope that you guys can hear me. I was playing around with this program a little bit, so I hope that y'all can hear me. I'm gonna wait to see if somebody comes on here, so let's see if you hear my voice. Testing, testing. I can make sure that my volume is definitely working. Let's double check. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I already kind of did a video on this topic before, but I wanted to come on here again and have a little introduction for you guys as well. But I'm going to retouch the topic of communicating intentionally. I haven't been on for a while, been definitely busy, and have some exciting things in the works for you guys. So this conversation is for parents, actually, of teens. A lot of my talks are geared to the young people and for young people. And this one is for young people too, but definitely to parents. I really want to kind of get across an understanding about how we as adults need to communicate more effectively and more intentionally with our young people. And it's actually something that I ended up having to deal with myself, thinking that I was communicating well, and I realized I wasn't. So, um, it kind of plays into a little story of I was actually cleaning up my room, cleaning out my closet, and I realized I was in there, and I realized I had lots of boxes stacked neatly, well arranged, not taking up a lot of space in the closet. And I'm like, you know what, let me get in here and go through all this stuff and see what the stuff is and see if I actually need to have this stuff in here. So as I'm pulling boxes and boxes, and I'm telling you guys, I ended up with a stack of like 15 different size boxes, small, large, um, medium size. And so I'm pulling all these boxes out. And as I open these boxes, they're completely empty, 100% empty boxes. And I guess I maybe saved them for wanting to put something in there later, or wanting to put the original item that came out of it back in it when I was moving. I don't really know what my goal was. I guess I thought I would use the box for something. And I ended up with this tall stack of just empty boxes. And it was kind of like a little light bulb went off. I think that oftentimes in the way that we communicate with other people, especially young people, we have a lot of things to say, a lot of words, but those words are empty. They're not, they're not intentional. We've kind of already decided what we're going to say. We have an idea of what we think they should say and what their response should be. And we're not really preparing ourselves to really listen and to receive from them. We're more wanting to tell them how we feel. And that kind of hit me, that I had all of those boxes stacked in there so neatly, arranged nicely in the closet with all the best intention, and then to realize that they were just taking up a bunch of empty space. And so I wonder how many parents, like myself, I found myself in a situation about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago where I have been communicating and talking and this and that, and found out at the end of the day that the way that I was communicating wasn't providing my kids the opportunity to express to me really what was going on. They were, and it wasn't a malice type thing. It wasn't something like they didn't want to tell me because they didn't want to be in trouble. They didn't want to tell me because they didn't want to disappoint me. And because I was asking non-intentionally and I wasn't actually really listening to the response, it took a while before I got down to the heart of the matter with them. And then I was able to go through the process of communicating better with them at that point. But I want to encourage parents, teachers, um, you know, individuals that work with teenagers and young adults, or young people. When I say young adults, I mean like 16, 17, 18, because they are, I know they're not technically legally adults, but that's what they're moving towards. They're young, they're young adults. They're moving towards that. They're not adults, they're not grown, but they are definitely kind of exiting that teenager stage and moving more into that young adult stage. And so we need to be careful when we're talking with them, to make sure that we're sharing intentionally, and avoid being an empty box, because it definitely spoke to me when I realized that I had all these best intentions, and those boxes were completely empty, just taking up space. And I feel like that's how our words are sometimes in our conversations with young people, just taking up empty space, and not really being useful for anything at all. Make sure that you are listening for the response, not listening to respond, um, and allowing them really to just say what it is they're trying to say, and then throw away your expectations. Every individual is different, and sometimes teenagers especially get lumped together in this big group that, oh, that's just how they act, or that's just what they say, or that's just what they do. um, Even by age, we lump them together. 13-year-olds do this and that. 15-year-olds do this and that. And so I feel like we have to understand that they have individuality, and to respect that. So throw those expectations away, because if you go in there with the expectations, you're going to be disappointed. Just go into the conversation open-minded, and willing to, uh, ready and willing to hear what they have to say. You may learn something. I learn a lot from young people. I enjoy talking with them and observing them. Um, so one thing that I wanted to share with you, should be able to see it at the bottom of my screen, is my new group for parents. It's called ParenTEEN Resources. And really, I'm just going to get in there and share some helpful tips, and actually, just talk about some of the things I deal with my kids. I have a 13, 14, 16, and 20-year-old, and it's a different strategy with all four. And I'm not always right, and I don't always get it right the first time. And I think that, nobody is perfect, so we have to, y'all need to know that, I'm a life coach, and I enjoy talking to young people. That's my passion, but I'm not always 100% right. My goal as a life coach is to listen and for understanding, and help motivate them to reach the goals that they set for themselves. So I would love to help parents with the same thing, because I don't want to be I can't be the only person that's able to talk to the child, um, or that student. Parents, their teachers, their guidance counselors, their maybe it's their staff at their what do you call it, like their camp or their summer camp or their club. You know, Everyone that's dealing with a young person, we all need to be able to communicate well. And I want to hear, your stories. I want to hear your things that you may have a question about, on your suggestions. So it's an interactive group. It's called, again, ParenTEEN Resources. I'm going to be sending out some invites, and you can seek to join that group. And I'm very excited to get on there and start talking to different people. Parents, again, it could be parents, it could be people that work with kids. But I'm looking forward to building that little community. So I just wanted to come on and chat with you guys for a little bit, talking about communicating intentionally, not just talking to have something to say, but really being prepared to listen and learn from the person that you're talking to. And we adults know that that's something that's useful in any relationship. But I think sometimes it's forgotten when you're talking to young people. You kind of just expect to talk to them, and you expect them to kind of just listen. It doesn't always work out that way. I think that, we have to understand and appreciate their personalities and their individuality, and not be afraid of that. Not be afraid that, you're going to hear something you don't want to hear or see something you don't want to see. You know, understand that they're learning how to become adults. And so now is the time for you to be that support and that motivation for them. So I'm going to say good night, and appreciate everybody for coming on and watching. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.